Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
And I'm Clocky.
I know this is crazy. You've been upgraded. We have not planned this at all. It's going to be a fun lesson in doing an unplanned web show this week for Geeks Corner, because normally this is the point where Caitie would be like, "Hey, go into the chat and tell us which Muppet you think is going to be the Muppet of the week this week." Because who did we have last week? Clocky? Currently, I guess.
Our current Muppet is Dog Lion,
which I thought was such a great obscure poll, I guess. Like, I watched the Muppet movie this week, and like, he's basically the first character you see after Kermit. And I'm trying to think, where else do you see him?
He shows up. I want to say he shows up in Muppets Tonight.
Okay. Which I'm not as familiar. Like, I watched Muppets Tonight when it came out, and it's not streaming, unfortunately. So I have to wait for it to stream so we can watch it. But we'll get there.
Dogline. Yeah, we'll get there. I'm going Statler and Waldorf this week.
Okay, you're going Statler and Waldorf. I liked that idea. So we were pre-gaming this, and that was kind of the general consensus that this one would make sense. So since you're going with Statler and Waldorf, I will go back to Bobo the Bear. Because everybody needs a bear in June, right?
Correct.
Okay, there we go. So let us know in the comments who you think the Muppet of the week should be, and we will keep track of this and see who comes up in the next 3 days, 4 days, whenever it is, Friday. I guess that the next Muppet comes out. But because we can, even if it is a little bit sad, let's talk some more about Muppets.
Thanks, Daps. Mr. Daps. Thank you, Mr. Daps. Thanks, man. Mr. Daps. Thank you, Mr. Daps. Thanks, man.
It worked.
It worked. First time.
I'm a little bit shocked. First time it worked. All right. Well, sadly, we're talking about Muppets because Muppet Vision 3D closed at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which means it's the end of that attraction in any of the places that it was. And so we lost it here at Disney California Adventure a few years ago, and now Disney's Hollywood Studios, it has closed down. And it's kind of a sad thing, I think. And watching all of the fans come out with their outfits and their own homemade and not so homemade Muppet recreations, and seeing Steve Whitmire there and Heather Henson there, like, it was kind of a sad weekend. What do you think of the closure of Muppet Vision 3D?
I mean, it's sad. It's happened so soon. Part of me, it's funny, you going to Japan and coming back. I'm like, could it go to Japan? Could they take it to Japan? Do they have room? Could it go there?
Probably. Somewhere. Why not?
We'll make it fit in somewhere. I did see, because I follow enough Muppet influencers on the social media. Did you see the guy that was dressed as Randall?
Mm-hmm.
That I thought a little at the same time, such a great Muppet joke. Such a great Muppet joke to go in, and start measuring out, like, oh, I think I put my room here. I think I move this here.
Yeah. I thought it was a sad thing to see go, and it's like, it's not just the attraction that's leaving that makes it sad, it's the whole area and the I don't know, the Miss Piggy fountain and all of the props inside of the queue, and when you used to have at the store, and the different murals. And
I wonder how many of those props, though, we see in Rock and Roller Coaster.
I'm hoping so.
At least the band stuff, if not some of the TVs, maybe some other great nods to the old queue in the queue for the new ride or new overlay.
Mm-hmm. My real hope for the attraction, I know they're preserving it, whatever that means, probably means Disney Plus or something, but there's two options I think that would make every Muppet fan ridiculously happy. The first one being is, since the Muppets are being displaced by Monsters Inc., why not just displace Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor with Muppet Vision 3D at Magic Kingdom? Probably not going to happen, but why not? Second idea is you've got this new Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom. Currently, there's a villains show kind of as a precursor to said villains land, which I presume will not be there forever. So let's wait a couple of years and you get your new Muppet Rock and Roller Coaster next year, which was announced on the day that Muppet Vision closed, is that Aerosmith will be departing and the Muppets will be arriving next year for Rock and Roller Coaster. But right next door is that Sunset Showcase. Well, if you don't need the villains there anymore, and say like 2027, 2028, whatever, probably a little bit longer, but why not put in a I don't know, remastered or whatever Muppet Vision? I don't know if you can do that with 3D, but like, could you master it? Like
you could clean it up. Yeah.
Like, I think if you could clean it up, make it look and sound better than it's ever sounded before, and use that theater, maybe make it maybe a little bit more traditional looking than it does currently. But that's a possibility, I think. My question for you next is, in Muppet Vision, either in the pre-show or the show, do you have a favorite gag or moment?
The thing I miss, and I'll have to go find, I'm sure someone's recorded it, was the scroll that would go by. It was just a five light letter scroll that would go through. I remember as a kid reading that and going, this is hilarious. Like, I know this other stuff. I know we're watching Rizzo come out dressed as Mickey Mouse. We're watching Gonzo dance with pots on his head, but that scroll had a lot of good jokes about, like, it's a minute left. Just kidding, it's 2 minutes, or whatever it said. I just remember it being hilarious. That was, of the pre-show, that was great.
And Chris is saying, what kind of foolishness would you like to see? That is almost impossible to beat. I loved dancing with a pot of flowers on my head was one of my favorite parts. That I think it's hard to beat. You've got a minute and a half. And then also, great. While you're gone, could you get me a sandwich? When
Bean leaves forever.
Yeah, and then forever. Yeah.
So
I see Bailey just hit that moment in the chat. See, there we go. That's a fantastic moment too. But I hope we get to see more of Muppet Vision 3D one way or another. Like, even if they just put it on Disney Plus and they're like, hey, you have to wear these silly glasses, I would be okay with that. Although then at that point you might as well watch our YouTube channel, because we have basically that up already.
Right. They could, I don't know. I bet they can D3D it somehow. So it'd be like Muppet Vision 3D. Muppet Vision 3D and 2D, and that's funny as well.
It is. Muppet Vision 3D, but not.
But then I'd watch it a lot.
I would too. I'd have it on all the time. Like, I'll turn it on just to listen to it sometimes, because it's just such a happy thing. And I think that's part of the reason people are grieving it so much, is because it's not the most advanced show anymore. It's not the edgiest. It's like there's no thrills in it. Like, you're getting sprayed a couple times maybe, but it has that warmth and that humor and that heart that's distinctly Muppets. That's Muppets at their best. And I think it kind of brings that sense of nostalgia and happiness that kind of like old school Muppets can bring, old school Disney brings, and actually modern Disney often does too. But I don't know. I hope they do a good job saving it and regurgitating it for us, because
I also love what a lovely pond. Too bad they're going to ruin it with a pig. That one's also great.
That is true. Or my big water
jet ski.
What is it?
Not jet ski. Water ski.
Water ski finale. Yeah, that's. And then Miss Piggy loses her head. But great show. Definitely going to be missed. And I would love to have 2 Muppet attractions in one land. I think that'd be fantastic. And hopefully we get more Muppet.
Or a Muppet Land. A Muppet Land.
Yeah, Muppet Land or area, because it seems like they're avoiding the word land lately. Have you noticed that? Like Zootopia in Shanghai, they're like the Zootopia area, and Avatar here, it's like the Avatar area. I'm like, oh, is it not a land? I don't know. And the Small World ditty during the finale, fantastic. I agree. In a minor key, to make it a little bit eerie and creepy. I love that too. All right. Should we move along? Moving right along?
Moving right along.
Yeah. Okay. We got updates this week on what is going to be happening at the Disneyland Resort for several things. Actually, we're going to do one thing first, is we're going to talk about Florida first and then go back to Disneyland because we're already at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And so we learned more this week about Piston Peak, which is replacing a good chunk of Frontierland or becoming a good chunk of Frontierland. And we got new concept art, which I think is fantastic. And the new concept art gives us a different perspective of Frontierland than you normally would have. Because if I'm looking at this correctly, basically the bottom middle is about where... Oh, wait, is that a bottom leftish is about where Haunted Mansion would be? Because they've tipped it, like the land from a different direction than you normally would see. But
right,
you can see where the new rally racers are going to be. You can see where the kids attraction that they, or the family friendly attraction is going to be that they haven't really given any details for yet. But most importantly, you can see that there still are quite a bit of rivers around what are currently the rivers of America. What do you think of this as we're about to lose the rivers of America and all of that, Tom Sawyer Island, whatever, at Magic Kingdom in about a month, I guess?
Okay, so what I love is the water keeping. That's great. But the water activity that will still be there is great.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Ranger J Audubon Woodlore version of car.
Brilliant.
Amazing. Yep. Great. What doesn't make sense to me is you have Frontierland and you have Adventureland and you have all this old and you're throwing in talking cars.
Uh-huh.
And where I go, Country Bear Jamboree, great. Oh man, bears walking around, great. Cars going around, that's the only thing that I like. The concept of this a lot. I wish it was anywhere else.
Okay. Where else would you put it?
I mean, you could get away with a whole car. I mean, we can't call it Cars Land anymore, but a Cars Adventure or Cars Expedition. You could, I think, with the cars and how much people enjoy them, it could have been its own mini park.
Oh,
with the cars,
okay.
with the Cars Main Street, which is Radiator Springs, which goes off into, this everything about this is great, but it feels weird having the cars.
Okay, that's an interesting thought, and I'm going to digest that a little bit. My thought is this is a much better buffer than I was expecting for Frontierland to Villains Land, because my concern was like, how do you make that transition from A to C with
Right.
The original concept art looked like it was just going to be a rally race that you saw like as you're walking out the door from Country Bear,
yeah.
Yeah. And so I was a little bit worried that it was going to turn this into kind of like an off-road, dirt race thing that everywhere you looked, that's all you're going to see.
It's much less Radiator Springs racers and more trying to blend between the bayou and everything.
So to me, it also almost reminds me a little bit of how well they've hidden Journey to the Center of the Earth at Disney Sea, having just looked at it and went on it a week ago. It's interesting, like they hide that, so like you see it a couple times, like in one spot, just one spot basically. But if they can do it the same way, the thing you'll always have is the noise level. But I'm guessing they're all the same basic track system, and it'll be interesting to see if it does get more vertical, as I see Chris talking about there. And if it does, then it creates a barrier that will be good for both the rally racers from the more traditional Frontierland, and then also between Frontierland and Villains Land. And then on top of all of that, I just feel like it'll feel that much more national parkish, which I love the national park concept they're going for. And honestly, they should be reaching out to Brett Iwan right now, because he's the biggest national park guy I know. And he could definitely create some awesome stuff, I feel like, art wise and even architecture wise for that. But it'll be interesting to see. It also will be interesting to see, looking at this, how it blends everything together, because Rivers of America has all these different sections of different different ecosystems
parts of the river.
Yeah. And so now this is going to have to do the same thing, because obviously the end with Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Big Thunder Mountain looks very different than over by
the snow caps over here on the left.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot going on. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah. And I don't know that we're actually going to have cars driving around other than the ones we ride on, and seeing our good ranger friend there. And that will be interesting too. Like, will there be, like in Cars Land, will there be
Lightning McQueen come out?
Yeah. Or Mater seems to be a natural fit to me for some reason. But like, I don't know.
I think Mater with a coonskin cap. That'd be choice.
Think that would be amazing. Yeah. Maybe a fishing pole too, instead of his toe hook. Like, turn it into a fishing hook or something.
Got a giant worm on it.
I think it'd be great. All right, let's move on to Disneyland. We've gotten more updates this week on where things are going, kind of on when, but not so much that yet. But we now know that the Avatar area land attraction water thing is going to be in the area where Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue currently resides, in part of the Hollywood backlot area. My question is, you're looking at this picture, which direction are we facing?
Oof. I think from where again, it also depends on where you think they're going to cut off Buena Vista Street. Right? Where will Buena Vista Street end?
Right. Or will it be on the other side of those facades? I think it might end up being on the other side of the facades.
I think this is pointing out towards Harbor.
Okay. So you think, let's say on the right side there is the back side of the facades for Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, I mean, again, I wonder how much of Hollywood Boulevard we're going to keep.
Because it sounds like we still have a Hyperion after this. It sounds like we still have a animation building after this, and it sounds like we still have Philharmonic after this.
I think this, man, because I don't think it points into because the only ways that I really see this is this either points to Harbor or it points to Disneyland, right? And to the hub.
So north.
Not the hub, but
so either west or north.
Right. I think this is west, because I think we lose everything in the middle.
I guess it'd be east. I'm sorry. We're facing east or we face north. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah. So I think this goes east towards what we're going to look at next, or it's going to face right into or this is going to face right into Space Mountain, depending on how far it goes out.
I like where you're going and where Chris is going here too, where that little blue exit on the right, you can see that little glow, is where the Hollywoodland bathrooms are. And I think that's exactly, I could totally see that. That makes sense to me. I do think that also might work, depending on how wide this is, for not having to move the monorail, because that might be just wide enough that the monorail is going behind on the north end of it if we're facing east right now.
Or do we get something like the monorail did, or like the People Mover used to do with the Tomorrowland attractions? Do we go through an attraction, but you can see out, but they can't see the monorail?
Yeah, I would love that. I think that'd be super cool. All right. So what do you think of this, by the way?
Sure, go for it.
Are you pro Avatar? Are you like...
I mean, it's something new. It's more attractions. At the same time, I'd rather have seen Monsters Inc. go away for more Marvel as we expand Marvel into more and we see more Marvel. I'd rather that connect better.
So here's my out of the box question for you. Let's assume that Disney in its business model is like, hey, we have to get more 20th century into the parks. So then it comes down to me from a business standpoint, is it Avatar or is it The Simpsons? Which one would you take? And Simpsons you have to wait longer for, if I recall.
Right.
Because of Universal.
You can't wait for Simpsons. That waiting for The Simpsons is equivalent to waiting for a new Tomorrowland. We're not getting either of those anytime soon. Okay. So I would say I would go again, what we're going to talk about in a little bit from now. I would dig into more of what we have gotten with like Moana, what we've gotten with Coco, what we've gotten with newer characters, or again, I really think Marvel is more the future than Avatar. I know they have Avatar. I know they want to promote it.
There's like 4 or 5 more movies coming, I think. Yeah.
But like you're going to build all this. This is staying for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And there is not much you can do to go, oh, it's Avatar. And it's also this Pixar movie that everyone loves so bad. It's Avatar, and it's also, let's say Elio looks great and comes out great, but you can't put that into here. This can only be that.
No, it can only be that. And I will say the counter argument to that is with how well it's done in Florida. I feel like it's a fairly safe bet as a land, even if the movies don't go as they hope they would. I do think the question of is how does it fit into to California is a fantastic question. It's one that we were talking about on the plane the other day. Is like, how is it because it's a movie that, and movies come from Hollywood, which this one didn't. Like I am curious what the full I guess what's the story that they wrap this in to make it part of California, or do you just say it's Disney California Adventure because it's a adventure that's Disney and it's in California that you're visiting?
Well, yeah, I mean it's the same thing as MGM Studios becoming Hollywood Studios, but that's where Star Wars is. They don't. I would say this. They don't care anymore. They just want to put this piece of IP somewhere.
Yep, I think that's fair. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that to explain it, because somebody is working on that probably right now.
Oh yeah, some kind of lore.
Yeah. The other thing we got this week is, well, 2 of 3 is we now know that Coco is going to be going in the bottom southwest corner of Disney California Adventure. If you look at this concept art, you can see that it is right next to Incredicoaster, which seems to indicate that the parade door will be moving or something. But it looks nice, and I will be curious to see if it moves the center of gravity for Plaza de la Familia a little further south in the park, where traditionally it's kind of been up by where Goofy's coaster is, and that area. Like, to me, it would make way more sense if you can put that all together somewhat closer to the attraction and build into that theming, which I think looks great.
Yeah, no, it looks great. It's a great addition. It's a great Pixar movie to highlight. I think you are right, though. I think we'll see some changes by Goofy Sky School. I wonder what they'll use. That will maybe be more of a festival booth than it is.
Do you think Goofy Sky School makes it?
I think so. I don't think it's worth I don't think the footprint's worth it. And it's a fun attraction. It's good. It's a good roller coaster for kids.
It's a great introduction.
Although
roller coaster.
It should be a Wall-E roller coaster.
Oh, that'd be
fit
fun.
fit in more with Pixar. So I wonder how long we'll see Goofy Sky School and not something else.
Yeah.
But are you talking about the plaza over in Frontierland moving over here and those characters?
No, I'm talking for like Plaza de Familia during the holidays, where they have, like they have the story. Is it the musical storytelling of Coco or something now? They changed the name, and I would be not surprised if they move that closer to the area and you see that whole area change.
Well, I kind of wonder. Look, so if you look through the gate, there's
Mhm.
the brown. I wonder if that is the parade gate, and the parade will come out of there straight that way.
Like through the Coco gate?
Yeah, well, like not through the Coco gate, through the side that we're not seeing is just completely open and
Oh,
goes
on the
on the
right.
parade and go on the right and goes through the parade route. So
So
I wonder if that's
basically
this
so
is just a
basically
facade
either where
before a
that
facade.
seating is or it goes into the pasta place.
Yeah,
Okay.
if the pasta
Yeah,
place makes
that's
it.
possible. If the I think anything from Incredicoaster to almost actually, I would say all the way to Mermaid is probably at risk right now.
Right.
Like, I could see any of that getting changed because I think just to accommodate Parade, changing the facade, accommodating like, I'm gonna assume the one thing that's probably safe is the restrooms, but maybe they'll change the theming for those,
I mean, they
which
haven't
would be
changed them
kind of
yet.
sad. I know. That'd be kinda sad if they did because it's made it this far, but alright, let's look at the next one, and that is the new
Oof.
bridge over harbor and the entrance with the Disneyland sign that I love, that would walk in from a new parking structure, off Manchester. What do you think of this new entrance?
So I know they've wanted it for a long time, and
Mhm.
I know Harbor Boulevard has really fought it, but this is the best way to get to the park.
Oh,
Looking
yeah.
at this to me says I can park at Toy Story and walk. Like I can
Mhm.
park at Mickey and Friends and walk. Um, I think it slows down the traffic jams that are here. I think it's safer for
Absolutely.
I think it takes more people off of crossing harbor. So that is incredible. And as we mentioned before, I also think it's great that you're going to be able to see the top of the monorail as it goes by. I wonder if you're going to be able to see the castle from here, which that would be the only thing I wouldn't like because I like the castle being hidden.
So it almost looks like you might not, because doesn't it kind of look like they have a wall on the north side of it,
Right. Which I
with lights on it or something? Like, I could
yeah.
see them actually trying to block that to an extent, uh, mainly to keep your fireworks, to keep your, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Um,
fireworks would be a problem there.
but it's interesting to me too how far I'm going to say north it is. Oh, actually, you can tell now because there is the bus intro or the bus entrance that is just past that cross into the current entrance on Harbor.
Right.
So that bottom left corner is where you would cross the street on Harbor to go straight into so that tells you actually where it's coming out and down. So you basically would end up entering the Esplanade at about the same places where you do now,
Right.
which
Po-
surprises me because
Possibly because I think Avatar is going to go deeper than that. I mean, this is also
I did
concept
too.
art, so who
True,
knows?
true.
But I've always thought because the wasted space now down, I can't remember what street that is, but where the power lines are, that's going to be the
Oh
bus
yeah,
load
yeah.
in and load out. That's where you're going to go as a bus now, is down that street.
Although you won't necessarily need all the buses. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if they do the buses from the new parking area. Like,
Right.
get rid of all of that traffic in this area completely.
Right. No, I agreed. And I think all the hotel shuttles go there. So not just the Toy Story.
Oh, you're talking on Disney Drive. I know what you're talking
Is
about.
that oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see. I'll be curious. Looking at this, I wonder where you put security. Is it before going over, or is it looking at this?
Well,
There's no way of going up from the
doesn't it
bottom.
doesn't it kind of look like maybe that building to the right of the Disneyland sign is the security for the bridge, and then if you look down underneath the Disneyland sign, it looks
That's
to
the
me like another security
security before
there.
going in. Yeah,
So
I can
I
see
almost
that.
think there's two, like there's the parking one and then there's the Harbor Boulevard one.
But I would say
And
if they're gonna do this, it's time to do the security the way Disney World does it, the way Broadway does it, the way Knott's has been doing it, which is the faster security system of being able to walk through.
oh, Tokyo, amazing.
Yeah,
Like it was it it might be my new favorite. I was very impressed with it. Yes, Toy Story would go away, and if all of the Disneyland Forward things happen as were proposed as possibilities, that would become an entertainment, dining, and shopping district. And I think there's even hotels around the outside of it. But kind of imagine like a Disney Springs light or mini that'd be right in the middle with parking around the outside. And that would be very interesting to see too, just from they packed a lot in the concept art for that one. I was like, huh, that doesn't look like you could fit enough cars there. So who knows? Disney might end up buying Garden Walk for all we know. It is 9:01, which means we're in Geeks Corner Plus. So if you have any questions or comments you'd like me or Clocky to respond to, particularly about Sent From Disneyland, since that's his podcast and it's pretty cool. Or if you want to ask about Photonics, you can ask us about that too, because we know everything about that. There we go.
Just got this new photo album, all 5 exposures from this trip.
Sorry, I made it bigger.
So
oh, that's fun,
right? And it's all 5 that are in here. None have been ripped out, and they've just always been in this. Just this is probably one of my favorites.
That is awesome.
And then Main Street, you can see they did not have the cleaning crew ready behind the horse. And then
I've seen that happen a few times.
Yeah. And then of course the Chicken of the Sea pirate ship.
It's amazing how often that has come up recently. Ever since that first tease we did.
Yes, Bailey. Go. This is the
OG.
The OG.
There you go. When can we hear a Photo Next pod? Is the next question.
That's a great question. I will ask you. What are you doing next Thursday? Because I have next Thursday off.
Sounds great. As long as it's not in the evening.
Oh yeah, no, I've got all day.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we'll figure out something for next Thursday. I think that will be
perfect. That sounds great. Awesome. All right. Well, this is the hard part because usually Caitie does all of this and I have no clue what's happening. But anyway, where can people find you, Clocky? We'll start with that.
You can find me everywhere on sentfromdisneyland.com, all your major podcast platforms, just Sent From Disneyland. Same thing with social media, Sent From Disneyland on TikTok, which I don't do much of, but on Instagram, Blue Sky, all the fun stuff over there. And yeah, that's where I am. Easy enough.
You can also find you commenting occasionally on our Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/dapsmagic, you can join all of the fun in there. And that's actually where we've posted the most pictures from the trip to Tokyo and Japan, all that area. So make sure to check all of that stuff out. It's a lot of fun. Make sure to also follow us on social media. And then also our YouTube channel. We've got a ton of videos going up, both from the parks here and also from the parks over in Tokyo Disney as well. So you won't want to miss any of those. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.